what you're about to see is the last night on safari, the last time I was in Kenya. Now usually when you watch an animal show, you got a few jeeps and crews out there and they can film for a few days or even a few weeks and they compile all that cool footage to show you like a half-hour show or something like that. Well, I'm just one idiot out there with one camera and one jeep trying to film the best shots I can to bring you, the audience, some cool animal footage. It's often thought that in the last few hours of your safari you see a lot of cool stuff because the animals know you're leaving and they want you to come back.
Feeling an apple.
Here we are on our last night, and we tried to head out a little early and in a big hailstorm. It was pretty cool, the first time I was ever in a big hailstorm in Africa. So it's starting to get pretty dark outside and pretty scary. And what happens? We come upon a graveyard. Now these elephants, people think that they take the bones of all the elephants that they know and kind of compile them into one area. It's pretty interesting stuff. And even my wife was frightened, and she lives with me. She should be used to being frightened. Now the whole time I'm trying to take some pictures, trying to film, all on the side of the hanging out this Jeep. Now it's very hard terrain. It's not a smooth road. So the Jeep and the cameras are all jumping around. Head out. One of the first things we see is a circle cat. Circle cats are really, really cool. And right after the circle, we saw a spring here. Some people refer to it as the Kenyan kangaroo. You can see why. And since I try to read all the comments and I get some emails asking me about the other evening animal wildlife videos I've posted, they ask, does that searchlight hurt the animals? Does it help one animal hunt another animal or so on and so forth? Well, just the fact that we're out there in Jeeps is going to play a part into the animals. Some are going to totally ignore the Jeeps and some are going to look at them. A lot of these animals can see really well in evening time, so the light doesn't help or hurt. They kind of ignore the Jeep and they ignore the light. Pretty much all the footage you see of the animal is the entire time that light was on the animal. I can't use things that are pitch black because it's not that interesting. And this footage was all shot in a time that Kenya was hurting for tourism. Because of political problems, not a lot of people, especially Americans, were going there. And of course, tourism income is the thing that helps provide this land to be safe for this wildlife. And then we see this lion in the road. And he's, well, lying in the road. So our Jeep really couldn't go past. We didn't want to go off the road too far, so we couldn't really see that much. And of course, he's right in the road. We notice his ears and his tail are twitching. We wonder what else is going on out there. So we spot this other big male lion out there. And he's coming towards this male that's in front of our Jeep. And we don't know, is this about to begin a big territorial fight? Because lions are very territorial, and they have to keep the other male lions that they don't know off of their territory. Sometimes this fight could even lead to the death. But it turns out the lion knows this lion, so they go out prowling around. Now we'd seen some other lions cruising through this territory, so we thought maybe they're trying to chase them out of this area. Now the cool thing is even though lions, all cats, can see really good at night, these guys, they're putting their nose to the ground and smell it. Now these lions are starting to get a little bit pissed off at those other lions. They can't quite find them. So what do? Well, the one large male, he starts calling out, letting them know this is a warning. Let them know, hey, this is not your territory. You don't live here. So as we're following this lion on the road, he's to our right. To our left, we see some eyes. Now, seeing eyes at night, they can either come off as like an orange glow, a greenish glow, a bluish glow, and it all says what kind of animal it is most likely those eyes belong to. It's kind of neat to learn all this stuff. So in a single shot, we're following the lion on the right, and I pan to the left, and what do we see? The little serval. Now this serval was pretty surprised. Of course the lion isn't talking to him to get off the land, but that serval, he's going to lay low just to play it safe. So now it gets to the point where this lion heads to an area that our Jeep just can't go into. The terrain is just too hard, it's too many trees, it's too steep, it's too many rocks. So we're just kind of sitting at this edge of this area. And as we go and turn around back, we see another set of eyes. So we figured, it's the serval. These eyes look a little bigger. As we get closer, we find it's a cheetah. It's like a cat frenzy out there tonight. Now she or he is not hunkered low because they're hunting. They're trying to stay out of sight. Could it be because that big male lion? Well, we keep going, and there's two big female lions right there. These two female lions weren't really paying attention to that cheetah. At this point, we're trying to head back to camp. Now we notice these guys are hunting something. It turned out to be a porcupine. Now, lions can really injure themselves by getting a porcupine quill stuck in their jaw, so they kind of want to stay away. But yet it's cat instinct. If something's walking around, they want to chase it. So these female lions with their young ones, they settled into this area, kind of around these trees. So we sat there for a while. Well, actually we sat there for over a half hour, just hanging out and listening. And one of the cool things we heard was this whoop. And as some of you may know, that whoop belongs to a hyena. So as we're going back to camp and we look to our left, there's a hoofstock species. Antelope, a topee, could make it out. There's a herd of them just hanging out. And all of a sudden, these hyena take off after them. Now they're pushing these things, unbeknownst to all of them, into the sleeping lions that were just around the other side of this turn. So here I thought, wow, I'm really going to be able to compete with the Battle for Kruger video on YouTube and get millions and millions of views. By the time we get the Jeep turned around and going that way, there's nothing there. There's no hyenas, they've gone some way. The hoofstock animal, they've gone another way. And the sleeping lions are gone. This is all I got that night. And I hope you liked it. And don't forget to grab your bags, because Brian's Art for Animals is going back on safari. You're going to start watching those episodes in February 2010. And thank you for watching.